Hey guys, it is Monday, like we talked about earlier, Monday, March 4th, 2019, the first Monday of March. February went by so fast, it was crazy. I'm here with my friend Noel San Jose. I did it right on the first try. Who knew? Ted Boger could actually pronounce the name correctly. Ash Sharma, what's up, my friend? How you doing? Jeff, what's up? Give us a thumbs up. Swear he got it. Ken Williams just sent a heart. Deb Fishback's on. All right, so they can hear us or see us. I didn't even have to ask. This audience is so good that I don't have to ask anymore. So welcome to the show. This is your first foray into the TED show.
Yes, thank you so much.
So thanks for coming down to the Crazy Citrus Club. Thanks, Deb Fishback. I miss you. We need to connect. So tell us. We always like to. Hey, what's up, Steve? We always like to get the origin story. People like to know a little bit about you. They want to know. Noel's such an interesting name, so you have to tell us a little bit about that. You're speaking. Oh, Ken Williams says you're speaking to my Zen master.
What up, Ken?
Oh, Dallas, what's going on? Ken was just on the show. He was an amazing guest. All I did was go, and here's Ken Williams, and then I didn't have to speak till the end as we wrapped it up. He took off. It was awesome. So tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. I was born in South Dakota, believe it or not.
South Dakota? That I would not have known.
Yes, Rapid City, Ellsworth Base. My father was in the Air Force, retired. Born there. Don't remember it much. Moved all over, regular military brat. Lived in Washington State, California. Now I'm in Florida. I've been here since I was 6 or 7. Don't really remember.
Oh, so you've been in Florida since you were 6 or 7?
Yes, been here a long time.
So do you have the, a lot of the kids, a lot of people who grew up in the military, they have this interesting love-hate with that travel. It helped them learn how to deal with new people and meet new people, but on the flip side, they never felt like they had any stability. If you're here since you were 6, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't really go through any of that. I don't remember South Dakota. I hardly remember Washington State, and don't remember California. So it's basically
Florida, baby. Was it in Orlando the whole time?
Yes. Well, Kissimmee. My family was there, and yeah, just been in Kissimmee the whole time.
And so military brought them here. So you grew up, you graduated local high school?
Yes, Osceola High School.
Osceola High School. Go. I mean, what else would their name be? It's got to be a K with Cowboys.
Yes.
Graduated there. I saw that on your Facebook. I was giving Noel a hard time because it was very difficult to find one photo of him all by himself to put in the show graphic. So we're going to work on that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I could tell that you definitely are involved. I saw you had a giant fish somewhere. So were sports important to you? Athletics?
Yes. So going to Osceola High School, I didn't have a car. Well, obviously I was 14. Freshman year I wasn't driving. There's a local YMCA, so every day it was go to school and then right after go to the YMCA and just play basketball, and that's what I fell in love with. Kept playing through college. I still play maybe 2-3 times a week now. So
yeah, I saw all those pictures. I said we could have put a teammate picture of Noel.
Yeah.
Noel. See, I messed up. Ken says he's strong and your foundation's based on family.
Absolutely.
God, he really do. You got a fan club in Ken Williams. I like it.
Well, it goes both ways. Love you, Ken.
We love Ken.
Yeah.
All right, so what did you want to do when you graduated? What was your goal? You want to play professional basketball?
No, that was not a real dream of mine. I didn't have any real direction when I graduated. Are you talking about high school or college?
High school.
High school, no, I folled the typical.
You wanted to get to college?
Not really, no. My cousin, Winnell, love you, man. He instilled in me, you got to go to college, you got to make yourself better. Made me take the SATs when I was, I believe, sophomore year of high school. Just really instilled that in me. Went to college.
Where'd you go to college?
UCF.
Me too. Go Knights.
Go Knights.
Charge on.
Yes.
Long. And I asked people I did go when it was UCF, not FTU. Debbie says hi, and Ken says you're relentless. If I ask you about Kobe Bryant, you won't stop talking.
Oh, God. You got another show for that?
A whole nother Kobe Bryant show. So you went to college. You still play basketball. You played at UCF.
I didn't play for UCF.
Intramurals.
I played in a couple leagues, adult leagues, intramurals. And there's a Filipino league I play in now, FBL.
So you're Filipino?
Yes, family's from the Philippines.
Okay, so San Jose is not Hispanic, not
No,
Latina.
no.
Okay, Latino.
Well, maybe, because Spain did take over for a while. There might be something
I
there.
love it. All right, what did you study in college?
When I first got into college, the pursuit was accounting, and I knew right away after I got my AA that was not what I wanted to do.
You do not seem, nothing against my CPA accounting friends, but
Yeah.
you do not seem like an accountant kind of person.
Maybe not. Maybe I'd be the one in there that's actually talking to everybody, but no.
You changed. So
Yes.
what did you end up with? What was your degree?
Graduated with business administration, just kind of general. Have a minor in legal studies as well. I loved contracts, never really wanted to pursue law. Just kind of wanted to get a degree, get out. School wasn't really for me, so yeah.
And then what did you do? What was your first job? Did you have a job in mind? Did you work with the amazing UCF placement community? How did you get your first job after college?
So I was working at the Shades of Green at the time. I was
right.
at the Bellman Ballet stand, just worked there, graduated, and then I started applying to different jobs. The first job I got was with International Cruise and Excursions. It was a very high-paying telemarketing job. So got some sales experience there, just learned how to be on the phones, conversate with people.
Listen, if you have not, I did telemarketing in high school.
Yeah.
If you have not ever worked in a phone room telemarketing, you're missing out because it's a burnout. I mean, the burnout level there is insane. But if you can just suck it up for a little bit, you will learn more in a phone room than you could learn anywhere else. I mean, it is, you can take rejection like nobody's business.
Absolutely.
People it also prepares you for marriage. People yelling at you, not happy with you, calling you all sorts of crazy names.
Absolutely.
Phone room telemarketing, I was very happy that I cut my teeth on that.
Yeah, great opportunity there. Learned a lot about listening, controlling my tone when I talk. It was a great job. Otherwise, great. They paid great hourly, paid benefits, paid vacation.
Nice.
Real good gig. But like you touched on it the best. Absolute burnout.
You can't. I mean,
No.
there's only so many hours that you can be yelled at. I mean, this is the other thing. It's definitely a prep for you.
Yeah.
So what did you do after?
I went back to the Shades of Green, went there full time just because it was an easy job. And as soon as I left International Cruise and Excursions, my pursuit was the military. Talked to my cousin Noel. He said, with your degree, you can pursue the officer program. Pursued the Navy for a little while, and I did the tests, the what is it, where they check you out physically. I forgot what it's called. Had to drive up to Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably call it physical. But
Yeah, it was like MEPS or something they called it. So went up to that. And then while I was waiting for that, I talked to Luis German, who introduced...
Luis
Yes.
German. I was going to ask how this whole real estate thing came into play.
Yes. So while I was waiting for the military to get back to me on the board and all that and their decision, Luis, he and I met at the gym playing basketball. That's how I have a lot of my brothers that I have now. Luis and I just talked. I found out what he was doing. He told me a bit about his office, their whole process. And it was a better gig than what I had. So talked to Luis, met Carlos. He told me, get your license, then we'll talk. So I went on faith that Carlos would hire me and got the test, got licensed, did all that. Then I did all the interview process with Carlos and he brought me on.
Did you know that you were going to like it? I think a lot of people go, all right, there's this glamorous life that's in real estate. I can be a realtor and make 7 figures right out the gate, and I don't have to work that much, and I just have to look at a contract or two here or there. So they go into it with this mindset that it's easy. What kind of mindset did you have? What kind of prep did Luis give you?
Well, Luis prepped me very well. He actually trained me my first few months at Carlos German and team in the office. Took a lot of, insight on how we approach our clients, what we're looking for. But my expectations with real estate were I knew it was better than what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it was just an opportunity to do something that is going to be different every day, something that it will make me better. And, a lot of people touch on being around people that just absolutely sharpen your skills and things like that. And that just presented itself and I took it.
So when you become a realtor and you get the license, you pass, how do you build, and this is just a generic business question,
Sure.
because like every other entrepreneur and independent contractor and business owner, which is basically what realtors are, how did you build your centers of influence? How did you grow that and then get them to buy into Noel San Jose is now a real estate agent. Right, because it's not that easy. You really do have to work at it. And I think people go, well, I've got a database of 1,000 people. That's not much, by the way. I have a database of 1,000 people. I should be able to sell homes till kingdom come.
Yeah. So the biggest thing happened for me after the first year was a switch just happened. And it was a matter of approaching everything with serving everybody. Not going into business to make myself money or make myself Kobe, to make myself rich or whatever. It was just about how can I help somebody else. And it wasn't, hey, can I sell you a house? Hey, can I put you here? Or, hey, can I show you this community? It was just, what can I do for you? What can I do to help you? Did you create that mindset? Were you instilled with that mindset in childhood? Like a lot of people will say, okay, so you say that, but where did that come from? Sure. So I'm a big follower of Dave Ramsey, and I love his teachings, whether it be money, how he, studies the Bible, things like that. And the biggest thing he touched on, and one of the books I love, The Legacy Journey, it touches on stewardship. And, I'm going to get into religion here, but God trusts us with certain gifts and abilities and things that he presents in front of you. And you can show him that you can do good with what he trusts you with. He'll ultimately trust you with more. And
I agree 1,000%.
Yes.
I think people are so afraid to use their gifts, and I'm also a Christian, I'm a man of faith.
Yes.
So people are so afraid to use their gifts. Yeah. And if you're not using the gifts you're given, how are you supposed to get any more gifts?
Exactly.
How are you supposed to attract anything? Even if you want to get religion out of it, you want to get God out of it, you want to talk about law of attraction, how are you supposed to do anything or get anything back if you're not giving out what you already have?
Exactly, yeah.
And I think that mindset's so important. But how did you discover Dave Ramsey? Like, why did that speak to you?
So it first started with my cousin Winnell, again, who was a big influence.
Winnell, you got to pop on the show if you're not around.
Yeah. He's Air Force, so he might be busy.
He might
right
not.
Now. Yes.
He's busy.
So Winnell first handed me the book, Total Money Makeover from Dave Ramsey. And that was just the tip of the iceberg on the things that Dave teaches. So with that book, it just transferred to another book, and just reading and thinking, what else can I learn? What else is out there? And there's another big saying. I keep forgetting who says it. I said Jim Rohn, but I don't think it's Jim Rohn. But in order to get everything you want in this life, you just got to help enough people get what they want.
Yes. I don't know if that's Jim, but I've heard that. Yes. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Absolutely. So that's kind of path that I try to follow, because it really stems to who you are. And if you're approaching everybody with a sense of trying to give, then there's no guard, there's no wall, there's nobody that needs to protect himself if you're trying to give them.
But people are so afraid of being vulnerable and authentic. They're afraid the person on the other end isn't going to like them. They're afraid that if they share or they give too much of themselves or their information, that somebody's going to come in and swipe out their account, swipe out their database. And they don't come from a servant's heart.
Yeah.
And again, not to be faith-oriented. It doesn't have to be faith-oriented, and I am. But if you approach things like you do with a servant's heart, meaning service is number one. You want to help people. If you go into it with that goal, everything else falls into place, and none of the rest of the periphery of drama literally comes into play. You don't deal with any of that if you're focused on the servant's heart or being service-oriented.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you're, approaching everything with what can I do for you, what can I do for these people, everything else will fall into place. It's not a matter of, people judging you or people, having bad things to say. I really, honestly don't have space for that in my mind, in my heart, where I'm going. If you're not upsetting anybody, you're not really going the right way. So there are people that you're going to leave, there are people you're going to offend, there are people who aren't going to be in your sphere of influence, and that's okay. Not everybody's on the same path as you. Not everybody has the same goals as you.
Correct.
So in order to achieve those goals, you're going to want to be with people who have those same visions, have that same path.
So Luis popped on, and of course Carlos just said, "What's up, Coach?"
Yes.
Is that your nickname? Is that what people call you?
No, I actually got guilted into coaching both of my sons' basketball team. So I'm a big Kobe Bryant guy, and I told my kids in the beginning of the year, if I don't see you guys working, I don't see you guys outside doing the dribbling, doing the shooting, I'm not going to coach you. I'm going to do more work than you guys. And just a few weeks later, they walked up and, Dad, can you coach me, please?
Oh,
You
that's
can't say
awesome.
no to that.
No, you can't.
So I dedicated a good amount of time coaching them. It was an experience, and it was awesome. It was amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
So family's obviously important to you.
Yes.
I was giving him a hard time earlier, like I said, trying to find a picture of him by himself, which is also a testament. I don't have a lot of pictures by myself either. I understand that.
Yeah.
But family, when I went through your Facebook, when I go through your social media, family's super important. Did you grow up in that environment, and is that how you learned it, or did you create it on your own?
That would be a little bit of both. My parents got divorced when I was in first grade, and my father wasn't around much. God bless him, did everything he could. He, supplied us. He helped my mom with money, things like that. He was definitely there for me growing up, but he wasn't always there. My mom was the honest foundation of my life.
Yeah.
Amy, Mom, love you.
Awesome.
So she was just the honest. I went to Catholic school, got brought up. She just provided me with anything and everything. I was so spoiled and entitled because of that woman. And just thought everything was owed to me and all that, but we won't go there. But because of her, I know that it's not about me. Because of her. And if you knew the sacrifice a single mom has to make, even my mom was a nurse, but that doesn't matter. That no matter what you're doing, it's a huge sacrifice to do anything by yourself for your kids. And there were two of us. And my brother and I were not the best kids. We were all over the place. We would talk back. We wouldn't really be grateful for everything my mom did. I'm grateful now. I look back and I'm like, wow.
Well, here's the thing. I remember teenagers, kids.
Yeah.
You have a totally different mind. Your brain's still developing.
Yeah.
It's natural. It's in the whole world of nature that you're going to push back as you're growing.
Yeah.
But your mother had the forethought to allow that to continue, because what she was doing is still creating that environment that you haven't forgotten.
Yeah, absolutely. And with what my mom did, I follow a lot of how she raised my brother and me with my kids. It's a matter of teaching them the right way, teaching them, it's not just disciplining them or telling this, it's a matter of breaking it down for them and explaining to them.
Correct.
And the biggest thing I've learned over the past few years is with the kids, you just have to remind them. They're not deliberately doing things just to make you upset.
There's just not.
No.
I mean, they are good at button pushing, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're right. There's not a malice in kids. They just do need reminding. Remember, their brains and hormones are all over the place.
Yeah.
Now you see, and thank you, Tom, for that. Now I see why I'm in love with this team I'm a part of. See, that's correct, right?
Thanks,
and we were talking about this when I had Carlos on, and of course Rosemary.
Yeah.
There's this team there, and what happens? They're gracious, wonderful, loving human beings.
Yeah.
What do they get back? That times a million. So you've got the Ken Williams, you've got the Noels. Their whole entire team has this approach. They're creating an environment, business environment, which talk about that a little bit, because obviously you've got the household, you've got family, that's important. You want to create that for your sons and for your wife, which is going to make an impact. We talked about legacy, and how that's really the important thing here, guys. The money and the name recognition and all the rest of that insanity means absolutely nothing when somebody's reading your eulogy.
Absolutely.
But the environment itself at work, you have a similar environment that's there.
Yeah.
But you all help contribute to that. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it says it in the name, Carlos and team, right? It should say Carlos and family, because, with Carlos at the realm, he doesn't do things just for himself. He doesn't do things in a sense of, okay, you guys can do this, but I'm going to benefit this way. He doesn't think of himself before any of us. It's always, okay, what do you guys think? How should we do this? Okay, if we do this, then we'll all be able to reap the benefits this way. And being a realtor, thanks to Carlos, is just so much easier because of him. We had this joke at an accountability meeting where Rose was saying, you guys got to do the open houses, you guys got to do this. And we were like, no, Carlos did the open houses, so we don't have to, right? That was one of our jokes. So being around that is just awesome. And I'll just touch on it with my wife. I'll give her examples of maybe I may have dropped the ball, or a situation where something came up that we're not used to, and I'll tell her what Carlos said or what Luis said, and she's just so happy that that's what's around me, how supportive everybody is, how everybody will take your situation and offer input, and nobody on the team is looking for a kickback. So I had a client come into town or wanted to look at a property on Saturday. I couldn't do it. I reached out to Miguel, and Miguel's like, I got you. Don't worry about it. Let me take care of them. There's never any sense of, oh, what's in it for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Freedom does the same thing.
Yeah.
The home team, like all those guys, Brandon and Jimmy, have created this environment where they want everybody to be supportive of the other one, because their belief is it all comes back to you 100-fold.
Absolutely.
And so it doesn't matter if it happens to be one open house you're working, or maybe you're taking a loan app, for example, on our side, when it should be the person who it was referred to. We are better people, not just realtors. That's right, Ken.
Yeah.
And so I think creating that, having that mentality at the top down, guys.
Yeah.
If the leaders of your organization aren't creating that environment for you, and you're not happy, there's a reason. Because if everybody's for themselves, it's a very selfish environment.
Yeah.
You can sense it and feel it, and that's what you're going to attract. That's what you're going to bring to you. Those are the kind of clients you're going to have. That's the kind of business
Yeah.
you're going to do.
Amen.
Trust me, the environment makes such an impact on what you're doing on a daily basis. And I love that you talk about that. And it's not just real estate. This could be any environment. So I consult with small business people all the time, and I'm like, okay, you've got 4 employees. What are you doing there? Does everybody feel like they're on a time crunch? You're micromanaging them. You're not supporting them. Do they feel good when they come in, or do they literally can't wait to get out of there? And if it's the latter, you have to change the way you're doing business.
Absolutely.
So what do you want to do long term?
So long term, Carlos, you might not want to hear this, but coaching those kids was a lot of fun. If I somehow, some way get a gig to coach maybe high school, college, that was just amazing. But the long term would be to eventually have a team. I have been reaching out to other people who have, reached out to me. Hey, what's business like? How do you, do your process and all that? And then eventually just influence people like what Carlos does. It's not about, making money or anything at the end of the day. It's not like you touch on it, legacy. And, I do believe in having a legacy for my kids, my wife, my children's children. But having a team with a legacy left behind for them, that would be very, very important as well. And that would mean a lot to me.
You're obviously involved. You do stuff in the community. Carlos and Rosemary and the whole team are very much about that. You guys are super. You're everywhere. I mean, you literally are. And if you've noticed, if you're related to the real estate industry at all, Carlos and team are disrupting this entire Central Florida area, plus. And I love every second of it. Why? Because they're bringing this positive, loving, encouraging energy to a very, very distrustful, negative overall industry that doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah.
But the leadership that we've had across the board, corporately too, and it's not just here, hasn't always been very respectful or supportive of somebody coming in and disrupting.
Yeah.
But he's disrupting with a smile and a hug. But all of you are like that. You can't walk into a room that's palpable. You can't walk into a room with them. And remember, this is across the board business. People always tell me, why do you talk about real estate? Look, you should apply this to everything you're doing.
Yeah.
This is a universal theme. Don't just get caught up in the real estate side of it. Get caught up in the fact that somebody's making a huge difference along with their entire team, their family, and they're making a big difference. Why? Because they're thinking differently, acting differently, being proactive, doing the things that we all know we should do and want to do, but we're afraid to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to share all of Noel's contact information, how you can reach out to him. I mean, don't you want to be coached by Noel? Come on. Don't you want to interact with Noel, be part of his team, pick his brain?
Yeah.
I mean, the great thing about you is that you're so open.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people, they look when they watch the show, oh my God, I wish I was that evolved. Neither one of us are evolved. We are just trying to do things the right way every single day.
Yeah.
And so reach out if you need encouragement. If you're not in the industry, it doesn't matter. That's another question I get. Well, I'm not in real estate. Why would I reach out to Noel? Because look at his mindset. His mindset and his heart are everything. And so you can benefit from that kind of stuff. And he's obviously a selfless guy.
Yeah.
So he wants to help you out.
Thank you.
But we're going to share all of that. I promise you I'll give all his contact information. He'll respond to all the comments that you guys have made and all the hearts and the love that you guys are sending. Any parting words of wisdom for them? Anything you want to share before we head out?
Sure. I ended the panel with this. Kobe Bryant's commercial, for every shot you see me take, there's 1,000 you don't see. And the reason why that has so instilled in me, that's an old Adidas commercial, so that was before Nike. It doesn't matter what you're doing in front of everybody. What matters is what you're doing behind the doors when nobody's looking. That's when you put in the work. That's when you let people go in front of you. That's when you let that lady cut you off. It's when nobody's looking. That's when it matters the most. Because what you're going to do is going to echo, and then when you're not going to know when you're in front of the right person. So that's when you put in the work. That's when you put in the grind. That's when you just put your mindset there, and things will pay off.
I love that. And as a man of faith, one of my favorite scriptures is the one, and I'm terrible about quoting. All my scripture friends will get it at some point, but the one where it talks about do your good deeds in private, and you'll be rewarded. You don't have to scream it from the mountaintops,
Nope.
people. I know social media is very attractive, so when you do a great deed, you didn't cut the lady off, you let the person in, you don't have to share all of that all the time. The good will come back to you.
Yeah.
So seriously, you don't preach it, Ted. Thanks, Ted. I think that's such an important thing, like you said.
Yeah.
What you do behind closed doors, who you really are. Trust me, that comes out and it will benefit you.
Yeah.
But you have to have really pure motives about it. Pure does not mean you're not human. And a lot of people go, well, Ted, you're just inhuman. Listen, that's a whole nother discussion. I'm really 850 years old. But you have to do the things that you know are right all the time as much as you can.
Yeah.
But you're going to mess up. You're going to screw up. You're not going to do it perfectly every time. And you can't beat yourself up for it. You just have to start right over again. I mean, I think that people get so caught up when they see the show, like people like you. You're so well-spoken. It seems like you have everything together.
No.
And I'm going to tell you he doesn't.
No.
Neither do I, and neither does any person
Yeah.
who comes on this show. So don't beat yourself up about it. Look inside, be introspective, and then reach out. These people are a resource. Noel's a resource. Reach out to him
Yeah.
and say, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what I'm doing. This is what's not working. These guys don't come on here. It's not like I pay them to come on. He didn't even take any booze, so he's just out of water. So there was no reason for him to be here.
Carlos, this is my post. I was off for
Literally,
other
it's
things.
true.
I drank water today.
I did, as you know. That's my terrible thing. But anyway, just know that you're not going through it alone,
Yeah.
and that there are people definitely who can help you, and you want to reach out. You've been a joy.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
My God, I'm so blessed
Yes.
that I get to sit here and have conversations with amazing human beings and then watch all the love
Yeah.
that people have for you,
Thank
which
you.
is awesome. All right,
Appreciate it.
we love you guys. Thanks for being on. Noel will reach out to you, all of you who posted, and then we'll share all of his contact information afterward.
Anything you need, please
That's
reach
right.
out.
Thank you. We love you guys. See you soon.
Bye.